Oh, you got a wonky picture there. Sorry about that. Don't know quite why there was a wonky picture. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the chaos that is the MaximumCrafts.com YouTube channel. Chaos because I don't know. How can you lose so many things, eh? How can you lose so many things in such a short space of time, really? But all is well now. But yeah. Oh, I hope you can see me now. I was a little bit late, but I hope you're there now. Ah, yes, I am. So that's good. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. And you can see tucked in this corner is the other Stampcut die, which I thought I'd like to show you today. And I'm using such a selection of all different products here. So I have got the fabulous Presscut Nesting dies in the diamond shapes. You can see hopefully just about that one is the stitch dot one, and then it goes with the plain. So I'm using those. As I said, using the Stampcut Wild Rose cluster. So that's a different one that I had at the weekend. I'm using the Woodware bubble stencil. I'm using broken china in distress oxide, and I'm also using, bring that in, the Mini Expressions Love and Hugs die. Now, apart from this, all of which you will have seen before, and so is going into a different combination for you today, and I hope you like it. So let's get started. So I'm going to pop that to one side for a moment. Hopefully I won't lose that in the seconds that I've put it down. And I'm going to start off today with a 7x7 card blank. So I did a little poll on the website, on the Facebook page the other day, just to see what size people were using. And it varied very much so. And obviously it varies with the different celebration or the different reason why you're making the card. So it was quite interesting to see. But I thought I'd go for a 7x7 because 8x8 is usually, I like a big card. Do you remember years ago, I can remember when I first met my husband, so it was years ago, that you could go into Hallmark, it was actually, and you could buy enormous cards that would be like about 2 foot high. And I can remember going to get those. Yeah, trying to get bigger the better. But nevertheless, we're a 7x7 today. So I'm going to use no matte and layers as such, apart from my diamonds in a minute, but I'm going to use this straight onto my card for a change. So I'm going to use my stencil and my broken china distress oxide. As to why I used the oxide as not the other one, that was just pure choice today. No particular reason, but I just wanted this particular colour, and that's the one I grabbed. So I'm going to put my stencil onto my card front, so straight onto my card blank, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of my oxide ink. Let's put that to one side. And let's get another bit of paper as well, so that I've got another scrap bit of paper. And I'm going to tap off the excess at first and then just bring this randomly into my card. Okay, so you can see my blue dots here, a little bit up here, and then pick up a bit more and go for a bit of a random there. So you can see that I'm going random. Okay, we like a bit of random on a Tuesday. It's a Wednesday, isn't it? You wouldn't be here if it was Tuesday now, would you? Would you? Eh? So just bringing this up so that I've got a colouring in the background of this lovely stencil. It's such a versatile one. I really like this stencil for just giving it a background. Okay, I think that is all I want to do with that. Okay, so that's my lovely broken china. So the colours I'm going for today are sort of like, it's called Emerald, and it's one of the linen card choices, and it's sort of like a bluey green. And I'm also going for light blue. And so the two colours seem to go very, very well. So that's my light blue and my beautiful emerald. So I've already cut out, as you can see, one of the nesting dies, but I'm going to go on to the stamps first. Okay, so we're going to put our card to one side for the moment and bring out my die. So as we said, this is one of the Stampcuts. So it stamps at the same time as being able to be a die and cuts out. So it makes a perfect cutout image every time, which is ideal. And it someone asked earlier, can you stamp on any die like this? Well, the answer is no, because they won't cut out like that. They've got apparently some special coating on them to be able to stamp on it as well. So if you recall, if you were with me on Sunday, in order to do so, I'm going to make sure that my cutting platform of my die cutting machine is covered with a piece of paper, because I don't want to get any ink onto that. I'm then going to get a bit of my low tack tape, and I'm going to fold that over on itself so that I've now got a bit of a roll of it. And then I'm going to stick that onto the back of my die, so that when I put it down on there, it's going to stay in place and it's not going to move about no matter what. I find for me, that's the way that this works better. So I'm going to get my Memento ink in black. So the same as I did on Sunday with the Spring Rose and Daffodil Cluster. But this is, as I said, Wild Rose. And it's got 3 definite flowers on it, which I think are really pretty and lend themselves to being cut out nicely. So I'm going to stamp up and do 2 of these. So I've got that one there. I'm going to go through with that. Pop that in. Now my whole stamp cut dies, I want to do 4 of them in all, but I have already done some of them, so that you don't have to sit and watch me do that all the time. But you can see such a lot of detail on there. Brilliant. So that's that one. And if you find the other one, let's just stamp that up again and do one more. And as you can see, if you don't put something on the back of these, you will get ink on your mats and it will be a bit of a pickle. So this is the best way to do this. Anchor it down with a bit of sellotape, fold it over at the back, no problem then. And you can be very frugal with your card because you only need to cut out as much as will just cover your image. So let's go through with that. Lovely jubbly. And as we say, you get the ink from the outside there on your piece of card. It's irrelevant because it all cuts out and there's no smudging, no nothing. It just works beautifully. So what are we going to do with these? Well, what I want to do with these is do a bit of colouring. Now, when you may recall, on Sunday, I coloured the actual flowers. But this time, I'm not going to colour the flowers at all. This time, I'm simply going to colour in the green leaves. So I can find the leaves on my pattern and just colour those in. And then, because I've stamped directly onto the coloured card, my flowers are now done. Simples, as they say. They are now completely ready to go. And all I've had to do is just, with a marker pen, just colour in the leaves. So if you're not into colouring, but you still like to get a really good image, there you go, already done. Obviously, as we said, if you put it onto blue, it would be done. If it's onto pink, yellow, any colour, and it's already done. So with this other one here, I'm actually going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut a couple of the flowers out singularly. So let's just cut out that. So there's not a lot of cutting to be done, but we just go round the outside, just cutting away the petals and separating them from the little bit of leaf that we have. And then I'm going to make sure that I use the lines of the actual stamp that are here, and I'm going to trim down as far as the centre of my flower. So that gives me the chance to fold these petals very slightly. Okay, so just following along the lines that were already there for me. And then I'm going to cut out the middle one as well. So it gives us quite a nice little decoupage detail for this, and really simple to cut out because it's basically already cut out for you. Like so. Now I'm not going to need the other flower in this particular case. I'm just going to use this, but I am going to go down the lines just as far as the centre bit, not right to the middle, otherwise you'll chop a petal off in its prime. Just follow the lines that you can. Let's get rid of these little bits. Then I'm going to take one of my blue pens, or this one is actually called Robin's Egg Blue, or B02. And I'm going to go with I'm not going to do it on this one. I'm just going to do it on the separate ones. And I'm just going to go over where there are some lines. So I'm just putting a bit of colour along the lines that are actually already in there. So quite randomly and not too thick, if that's the way that we would call it. So not going to go over lots and lots of times, and just add a little bit more definition. If you're using the Copic markers or the alcohol markers, you'll find that it soaks in quite well. So I did use a very light blue because I didn't want it to show very, very much. And then when it dried, it didn't show at all. So I had to change that one. So I've gone with one that does show up a bit on here. And then when it dries, you can see already that this one is drying and it's not as vivid as the other one. So oh, we're all having jabs this morning. Lots of people are, which is excellent. Really pleased. It's the way to go, isn't it, folks? Eh? The way to go. So we've got our little flowers. Who's this done? And now I'm just going to get a bone folder. I'm going to take each one of these petals separately, and I'm just going to point them upwards so that you've got a little cup almost there. Again, so that you've got that nice, little bit of dimension there. Okay, and then in a minute they're going to go onto there like that, which gives me a nice little dimensional sort of, you can see that, image, which I think is really pretty, with very, very little colouring. When you see such a stamped image, you think, oh goodness me, I've got to colour a lot, but you haven't. So as I said, I previously have taken my lovely diamond stencils, dies, and I've chosen the size that will fit in my card. I think it was this one. Let's just have a look. No, it wasn't. It was the one, this one, that fits in from the top to the bottom just about. And that is cut out from emerald. And then I went, so that's from the stitch dot, and then I went on this side to take a white one, which is the next size down, which will leave me with a very nice trim border all the way around. You can see that there like that. Okay, so before I do that, I'm going to put a little bit of my stencil onto my card here, just a little hint of it. That's if I knew what I'd done with the brush. Anyway, we would do it. Oh, good oblige. There it is. So I'm just going to see if I can bringing it in from the side, which is a little bit more difficult because you can't see the edge of it very well. Perhaps if I do it that way around, we might be able to. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And I'm going to still be doing this bubbles, but I wanted to do it just around the edge. So just bringing that in, let's bring in a bit more Ujima flip, you know. So I'm just going to be bringing that in. Just going to get that spotty dotty on this side as well. Just to blend it all in together. Just love how stencils give the dimension to your work, and yet there's not any dimension at all really. It's a clever way of doing it. So you can see now hopefully that I've just got that on the edges like that, and I think that looks really nice. So we'll pop that to one side again, and then this will go on top of there like that. So we can put all of our card together now. So I'm going to just pop a little bit of glue on the back of there. And that, as we said, fits beautifully right in the centre of there. Give it a second or two to grab. Like that. Okay, bringing our card back in. So this is going to go into the centre. Now, because I'm going to be using my Stampcut dies on it, I'm not going to put any foam onto the backing of here because we're going to have enough dimension, in my opinion, with the flowers. So I'm just going to put some glue and stick this straight onto my card front. So I've not used an awful lot of card in this card, if you can see what I mean. We've used the card itself as the backing of it. I'm trying to centre that if I can. And then that's giving me a nice little focal image there to be looking onto. So then I have taken some lovely corners. I'll just come over here. Bring in all my elements that I'm going to be bringing in. So I've taken some lovely little corners and they are going to go into the corner straight onto the card. So let's get some sticky specks. Someone was asking a question about the sticky specks. The sticky specks that I use, which are for putting, so it's lots of little micro dots and it puts it on there, onto the back of the die, and then I can easily pick that up and stick them down out of an intricate die. They are not the same as the double-sided sticky sheets. They happen to have a similar name, but they are not the same as the double-sided sticky sheets. The double-sided sticky sheets are for putting glitters onto and things like that. But this is a complete, very sticky sheet. Oh, a rogue little, hold on. You're not invited to the party. Get out. Frustrates me when I put these on and then I realise that I've left a tiny little bit of paper in there. But all is well because I seed it. I seed it first. So let's take these there. Sort of pulls it together, I think, by putting these little corners on, do you? I think it sort of brings the image in nicely. So there we are. That's looking good. Oh, I will need that in a second or two. So I'm then going to put my two. So this is one that I did earlier because it's almost Blue Peter. These are going to go onto the side here. And I've done my sentiment as well. So this was the Sending Love and Hug sentiments. And I've cut it out from the same emerald card as this. But I couldn't decide whether I wanted to do it in the light blue. So subsequently, I cut out one of each colour and then decided I did want the dark colour. So I have then also stuck the two together so that I have got two different colours, but I therefore have got the thickness that I wanted. So I'm going to pop that onto my sticky spec sheet again. That way round will do. Picking up all the glue, and it's going to go into the centre here. So I'm going to put that in first, and then I can finally arrange my wild rose clusters to go on the top. There we go. Whoops. Get it straight and centred if I can, which looks about right there, I reckon. I reckon it does. I like this, I like the saying, sending love and hugs. It's sort of generic if it could be. The S doesn't want to sit in the right place, but other than that, so I'm just going to press it down and at the same time pick up any of the little excess bits of glue that I don't want sticking with my glue eraser. There you go. Just pick up all those little bits, but at the same time pressing down so it makes sure that they're all stuck where they should be. Okay, so then I can place my lovely flourishes. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue onto the edges here. And that one can go there. And then I will take my separate ones, my single ones that I coloured just a little bit, and I'm popping them in between the ones underneath. So it's alternating them a little bit. And that one goes there. And then this little devil goes over this side. Just want to make sure. Whoops. That cover. That bit there. That's better. And then pop my other two flowers in between the other ones. So one there and this one here. What could be simpler? So you could go more to town with it. You could go and then some glossy accents would look nice on these little stamen type things in the centre, or you could put some glitter on them, or you could do them with a darker pen. You could also colour in more so with your background ones here, but I think in actual fact that looks really quite nice like that. So that is the last of the Stampcut dies of this range. Whether there will be another lot, I don't know. Maybe there will. But so this was the one that I used today. This is the Wild Rose Cluster. So again, it gives itself much easier way of cutting out and making it into a decoupage sheet. So there you go. There is your little delicacy of the day. Now, I will be back with you on Friday morning at 10 o'clock, and I will be doing a fancy fold because we haven't had one of those for a little while. But just a heads up, I've got some new exciting ideas coming up in May. And so, but one of the things means that I will be cutting out my Fridays. So I won't be doing I will be doing 2 more fancy folds on Friday, or fancy Fridays. That will be this week. That is the 23rd, and the final one will be on the 30th. I will still be doing 2 a week on a Wednesday and a Sunday, but I need to make room to get all these new exciting things coming up. So I've got some more workshops for everybody, and more kits coming out, maybe even 2 a month. And so I'm hoping that it might make up for not being around on a Friday. But I think I've done you all right, I think, because I've been here for well over a year doing it 3 times a week. And I just want to change the direction slightly so that I'm here twice a week with super duper ideas for you, but not going to be on a Friday. We'll still be doing fancy folds, but they will be incorporated with some of the other cards. Okay, so thank you once again for joining me today. Hope to see you on Friday. Stay safe, behave. And I must just tell you, hold on, don't go. I must just tell you the weirdest thing. I swear to God, there's something odd going on in my house. I told you before when I started that I had lost things. Well, I had lost, so I couldn't even show you right from the beginning, one of my banner dies. I know I used it, but could I find it? I had the bins out because I thought I must have left it stuck to a piece of card that I was cutting. I had all of the units out in here. No, couldn't find it. Yesterday, I went to clean the guinea pig out. I lifted the cage, and stuck to the bottom of the cage was a set of sentiment stamps, which, to be fair, I hadn't even missed. But there they were, stuck to the bottom of the cage. Hello, has the guinea pig been using them? Clearly. And then I looked behind his cage, and on the floor is my banner die. So there you go. The guinea pig has clearly been, during the night, having a go at sentiment stamping onto banner dies. And if I find the card that he's made with it, I will show you, and show you with such pleasure that I have got the cleverest guinea pig in the whole wide world. So there you go. Now you know my story of losing things in this household. I'm shocked and amazed that the doorbell didn't ring today because I'm on my own, staff's day off. Anyway, take care, and look forward to seeing you on Friday if you possibly can. Be good. Bye.